Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, 8:13 in the afternoon, in the evening, night. I don't know, whatever. It's today. And I'm here in the office. And I wanted to make a video talking about this subject that is probably gonna be a little weird for some people because it's kind of out of the box thinking, somewhat, but it's something that I honestly believe to be true to a degree. Have you ever felt like you have, we've all heard, voices in our head. Everybody has. You're lying if you say you've never heard voices in your head that have made you, fight with yourself, essentially. And right now I was hearing some voices, but now, when I hear the different voices, I can identify them a lot clearer than I used to. I can tell, okay, this voice is not coming from within me somewhere. It's coming from outside of the space around me. And, I can tell if that voice is a thought from someone nearby me, or if it's a thought from like a demon or a outside entity, an angel, some kind of other spirit, or if it's a voice that's within myself, then I can identify where it's coming from within myself. We have different parts of our body, right? We have our stomach, our guts, our heart, our brain, our bones, our feet, our legs, our hands, our fingers. We have all these different physical aspects within ourselves, and each part within that aspect has a vibration that they send out to you, to the brain, and it tells you what basically it's feeling and what it wants or what it needs. And that's the brain responds, in kind, depending on whether you're paying attention to that part of yourself or not. And right now I was hearing my stomach talking to my brain, essentially, and my taste buds, but, or my tongue, I guess it would be, but I could tell that it was coming from those, because I was having I was looking at a picture of myself and thinking how dark and down I look, even though I was smiling, on the outside. I just looked like it was just such a forced smile, I looked like I was being held hostage or something, like demonic or something. I don't know. It just looked funny. Well, not funny, but weird. And I started talking to myself, why do I look like that? What's wrong with me? And what's going on? And I just started having other thoughts too, as I'm looking at that image, and I started thinking, wow, I look fat. That was a voice that came to my mind, that that voice is not from any part of my body. That's my self-esteem, the negative parts of my personality, essentially, that I've allowed to become a part of my spirit, my soul, in order to cope with the traumatic experiences that I've had within my life. And And so I immediately started like telling that voice like shut the fuck up, like don't. Or I mean, I didn't say that actually. I was just telling myself to. Usually that's what I've been saying lately. Actually, I've been saying like, shut the fuck up or whatever to that voice. But this time I was like, I told myself, well, if that's what you think, then do something about it. And then I was like, well, I started talking to myself like that, like my brain, my rational, logical thinking brain's talking to that part of my self-esteem personality that was fuck, I need to charge this shit. That was that was speaking to my my self-esteem. Ugh, God, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Stupid charger. Hold on. I had the thoughts that I was fat, and then I started, and that was from my self-esteem, and then I started telling that thought, well, if that's what you feel, then do something about it. And that thought was coming from my logical reasoning, brain, and which is also a part of my personality, but it's the logical, rational side of my personality. The other one is the low self-esteem. That has to do with the traumatic effects that have molded my personality into what it is, because of the my trauma or whatever, my feelings being hurt as a child. and so yeah, I said that, and I was like, well, started thinking, well, I have been basically trying to do that by eating less, because before I would crave chocolate or not crave it, like it was just a habit, where I would just like, yeah, let me get a chocolate. Like even if I wasn't necessarily craving it, I would just always have to have chocolate in the house, like, or candy, like, well, mostly chocolate, but like I always had to have it there all the time, some kind of sugar. And I mean, it still is basically all the time, because my daughter eats a lot of candy too, and I'm trying to get her to eat less, but it's very difficult, especially when it's kind of a habit that I have instilled in her, since she was a child, because of my own theories on you know how we eat food and how it affects our body based on our emotional states. And yeah, so right now I'm not in a good emotional state. I mean, I haven't been in a good emotional state really in a while, but I was more like, I was more, I guess when I was more independent, I was on my own, so I had more control of my life and my choices. And now I don't have that. It's more like I'm in a role that I have to play as a mother to my child, and I have to, make sure that I do whatever I need to do to ensure that she is the happiest, healthiest, and most stable child that I can possibly help her to be. And you know that brings out a whole nother conversation, because I know I've not been okay for a while, even though when I was in control of my own life personally all the time. Basically, I still was fucked up. I still had issues and stuff, but it was just, I didn't have to face them as much, I guess, because I could just run away and just go, try something else. And this time, like, I can't, I'm being forced to be here and doing that. Like, I have to, for my baby, for our family, for at least the future of our civilization. And And so, alright, and I'm sorry about that. Today it's the next day already, but I had to cut the last part of the video because I was about to be interrupted, and that kind of topic is not really something that I want any kind of interference on when I'm talking about it, because then I get like way thrown off track. And I kind of already was a little bit, actually. I looked back at the video and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Like, it's probably confusing what I'm trying to say in it, but essentially what I'm saying is that there's a system of communication within our bodily structures, and we can have our brain basically interact with that system and be able to identify it through our brain where each piece of information is coming from within our body, if we just listen. And that's what I mean when I say I know when it's coming from my, stomach, or my heart, or my legs, or my whatever. Like, I mean, there's different ways that you can communicate with your body. There's the obviously physical ways. Like, if you feel pain somewhere in your body, you're gonna have, a feeling that you feel in your leg, like a feeling of pain. And you're gonna, that pain is gonna be triggered by your brain. You don't feel that until your brain tells you, oh, your leg is hurting. That's when you start feeling the sensation of pain. But before that, your leg's already having the message. As soon as you get, like, when you hit yourself, you don't immediately feel anything. Your leg is feeling it, but the message hasn't gotten to your brain yet. And then your brain sends a message, oh, something happened. And then you start feeling, the nerves spike up, or whatever, the pain starts coming. And that's one way you can talk. But then you can also actually hear, like, the vibrations, the words that that part of your body would be feeling. And when it comes down to it, like, it's all us. Like, the leg is you, the stomach is you, it's a part of you anyway. It's not all of you, but it's a part of you. And so when you're thinking all these thoughts in your head, you're not really deducing, oh, it's coming from this or that or this place, because it's all a part of you. So it's just like your thoughts, that's what you feel. So, but they are, like, coming from a specific location. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. Is I'm starting to be more in tune with that. And before I really wasn't in tune. I would just go based off of, I would just act, based off whatever my body's feeling, whatever it was. I would just do as it said, essentially, based off of that. But now I can't, I have to, like, if I'm tired, I'm fucking exhausted, and my body's telling me rest, go to sleep, and I have to fucking do something for work, or I have to, do something for my baby, I can't just say, no, I want to go to sleep. I'm not going to do this. I have to stay awake. I have to continue putting my body through stress and finish what I'm doing. So when you do that, when you put your body in extra stress modes, when you have certain things like that you want to do, to free yourself from something, to feel lighter, to feel less angry, less stressed, less, negative, and you stay there for whatever reason, then it causes you start gaining weight. You start, or you get sick, however, there's different things that can happen. But basically, you have negative ramifications that happen to your body because of that. And so, because I'm stuck here, I've been kind of stuck here. I'm getting fatter. Like, I'm not even eating as badly or as, much really as I used to. And I'm still, like, gaining weight or staying fat because I'm not. It has to do with your stress and your mindset and how that's what affects your metabolism to go into, processing mode, constant processing, where your body's just eating whatever food you give it and not, like, storing it away into your body. So yeah, right last night I had another like moment where I was hearing my stomach talking and telling me like just throw it away, because we had bought cookies. I had bought yesterday cookies actually because I wanted it, because I still have that habit where I have to like, I have that thought I have to get it. I have had it a lot less where I'm caving to it, but it's still there. And yesterday I had, oh no, 2 days ago I had done it. We ordered pizza and I got a cookie from Papa John's, one of those big ones. But I didn't even eat it like that day because I was like, oh, like my stomach was telling me, just don't eat it, don't do it. Like, even though like my brain had gotten it, because it's already like programmed to. Basically, I told it, okay, like I won't eat it, even though I got it. I said, oh, I won't eat it. And then today, because we still had it there, I mean, it was covered obviously, but we still had it, and I wanted to get a piece. Like this time I did have a craving for chocolate. I was craving it, and when I went like to put it in my mouth, like I take a bite, my stomach, I don't know, I guess it's more like in control of my taste buds right now or something, because I smelled it and it was like, oh God, like I don't want this. Like I don't want it right now. I don't feel like this is gonna be good for me, like I started thinking like I'm gonna eat this and then feel like shit afterwards, and then it's just gonna stay fat in me because I'm still like kind of upset right now, emotionally all over the place, unhinged, because well, that's a different story. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, so my stomach was just telling me, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. And I just did it. As soon as I had that feeling in that moment, I was like, I just put it back and then just threw the whole box away. So yeah, I'm being more in tune with my stomach, essentially, is the whole point of this video. Sorry it was so long.